It wasn't there for the stairs. I know that sounds insane, but you have to understand. We were miles from any trail, any structure, and the wood looked old. Wrong. My senior officer just looked at it and said, "Rule number 1. Don't you ever walk up those stairs." This story comes from Reddit user Search and Rescue Woods. Everything you're about to hear is what they claim actually happened. I worked for several years with the State Forestry Service in a region that's more wilderness than not. My job wasn't usually rescuing hikers from trails. It was finding the people who wandered so far off the map. They entered a different set of rules entirely, the ones the brochures don't prepare you for. We had rules, not the official ones in the manual, but the ones passed down from senior officers over bad coffee and pre-dawn gloom. Rules like, if you see a set of wooden stairs standing alone in deep forest, you don't go near them. You don't touch them. You definitely don't climb them. You mark the location on your GPS, report it, and you leave. The first time I saw one, I thought it was a joke, a prank on the new guy. We were 20 miles in, looking for a group of missing college kids. The air was thick with the smell of pine decay and wet stone. Daylight was a fragmented thing, struggling through the canopy, and there it was. A simple, weathered staircase, like from an old farmhouse, rising about 15 steps and ending in nothing, just empty forest air. I laughed. A short, sharp sound that got swallowed by the trees. What the hell is that? My partner, a grizzled man who'd been doing this since before I was born, didn't even turn his head fully towards it. His face went flat, his eyes guarded. "Don't," he said, his voice low. "Just don't. Mark it and keep moving." But who would? No one. He cut me off, finally looking at me. His eyes were dead serious. "No one built it. No one could build it out here. It's not for walking on. Rule number 1. Don't you ever walk up those stairs." The finality in his voice chilled me more than the damp ever could. We marked the coordinates and moved on, finding the kids an hour later, cold, terrified, babbling about voices and shapes in the trees. They'd seen the stairs too. One of them had tried to take a picture, but their phone had fried, and the battery drained to 0 instantly. We never spoke of it in the debrief. Officially, they'd just gotten disoriented. That was my introduction. It wasn't my last. Over the years, I saw more. Sometimes they were pristine, like they'd been installed that morning. Sometimes they were rotting, moss-eaten, looking centuries old. I saw spiral staircases made of black stone in a pine forest where no stone like that existed for 500 miles. I saw one that was just concrete steps, leading to a second concrete step, suspended in a gully. They were always just there, and the feeling around them. It was a hollow silence. No bird song, no insect buzz, just a heavy, waiting stillness. The rules expanded. Whispering stories in cabins during storms. Don't answer voices that call your name from the woods, especially if they sound like someone you love. If you feel like you're being watched from the trees, you probably are. Just keep walking. Don't make eye contact with the darkness between the trunks. Pay attention to the behavior of animals. If they're suddenly gone, or if they're acting frantically, something is wrong with that place. And the stairs. The rules about the stairs were the oldest, the most absolute. You never see anything come down them, but you sometimes see things. Near them, figures just at the edge of your vision, standing perfectly still, pale, elongated things that don't move like people, shadows that have too many angles. Once, on a recovery mission for a solo hiker, we found his camp. His tent was shredded from the inside out. His backpack was neatly packed, his wallet and phone left on top of his sleeping bag. And 50 yards from his camp, in a small, eerily circular clearing, was a staircase. This one had a small, child's sneaker on the 3rd step. It was damp, like it had just been left out in the dew. The hiker was never found. The worst, though. The worst wasn't something I saw. It was something I heard. We were extracting a terrified man who'd been lost for 3 days. He was coherent enough to tell us he'd been following a creek. Then, on the second night, he'd seen lights through the trees. Not flashlights. Soft, warm, golden lights, like from a cabin window. He'd stumbled towards them, desperate, and found not a cabin, but a wide, elegant staircase leading down into a hillside. A doorway at the bottom glowed with that inviting light. He said he heard a woman's voice, humming a lullaby he remembered from his childhood. He said it smelled like his grandmother's kitchen, fresh bread and cinnamon. He was one step from the threshold when a hand clamped on his shoulder. He spun, and there was no one there. But the touch broke the spell. The light from the doorway flickered, and for a second, he said he saw not a cozy room, but a long, dark tunnel lined with wet, root-choked earth. The smell of bread twisted into the odor of deep, fungal decay. He ran and didn't stop until dawn. I believed him. I'd never heard of the stairs offering an invitation before. It chilled me to my core. The rules were our only defense, and here was something that knew how to break the rules, to use our own memories and longing against us. I left the job eventually. The weight of the unsaid things, the coordinates we logged and never revisited, the faces of the ones we never found. It got to be too much, but I took the rules with me. I sometimes dream of the trees, not the beautiful ones, but the deep, silent places where the light doesn't quite reach. In the dreams, I'm standing at the base of those stairs. The wood grain looks like a face, and from the top, where the stairs meet nothing, I hear something begin to come down. To this day, the Reddit user known as Search and Rescue Woods still wonders about all the coordinates logged, all the strange disappearances near those silent, impossible structures. Some stories leave a mark that never fully fades. Original post linked in the description. What would you have done?